going on, folks, and welcome in again to Out of Your Falcon Mind. My name is John, one half of Out of Your Falcon Mind. My co-host Mike, again, not here, just myself. Going to do this real quick video again. If y'all saw the video on Zach Robinson, which by the way, thank y'all for watching it and sharing it as much as you did and commenting and everything. And I know the music. Some of y'all didn't like the music, and I understand it was when I edited it. It definitely it doesn't sound as loud as what it came out on the final copy. So, but I could still hear myself. I know it was distracting to some folks, so don't worry. I'm still probably going to add a little bit of background music on this one just to kind of keep it up, but it will be a lot lower. So I kind of, learn as I go here, but I appreciate you guys nonetheless, because it was a very successful video. Appreciate you subscribing. And if you're here tonight, this is your first time, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're a Falcons fan, man, we keep it going year round. Just check out the Zach Robinson video. Come in, see you live. We'll be live this week, Thursday at 8 p.m. So anyway, so let's get on to this video. We signed a new defensive coordinator. His name is Jimmy Lake. And you're like, who the hell is Jimmy Lake? Unless you're real familiar with Pac-12 football, you probably don't know who the hell Jimmy Lake is. Well, first of all, let's start with this. He was in his playing career, he played at Eastern Washington University. He was a strong safety. He started his career at Eastern Washington as a defensive secondary coach. And sorry, I'm having to, again, like on the Zach Robinson video, I have my notes. I've got my notes here for Jimmy Lake as well. It's just harder to read because I'm using the website, didn't print it out. But anyway, and he was defensive back coach for Washington, Montana State. His first job with the Bucks was in 2006, 2007. Defensive backs coach as well. Went to the Lions for the same position, came back to the Bucks for the same position in 2010, 2011. Went to Boise State as defensive back coach and passing game coordinator in 2012 and 13. And then he went on to the Huskies, where he spent most of his college career, at least, defensive backs coach in 2014 and 15. Went to co-defensive coordinator in 16 and 17, defensive coordinator in 18 through 19, and then became the head coach before Kellen DeBoer got there, 20 and 21. And he coached some guys like Budda Baker and Trent McDuffie, a couple other guys that are in the league now. So he had some pretty successful defenses over there. Unless you see a lot of Pac-12 football, again, we don't see a ton here in the Southeast. I know we got some fans that are in that side, on that side of the country, that see a lot more than probably we do. You might know who Jimmy Lake is. And then of course he goes to the Rams in 2023. He took a year off, basically 22. Came back to the Rams in 23 as associate head coach. Not a name that I or anybody that I really know had on the list there, which doesn't mean anything. I'm not like an insider, neither is Mike or the guys we talked to, but it's just not one of the names we tossed around. Makes sense, makes total sense. Raheem, obviously familiar with him, knows him very well from being at the Rams, so makes sense. I would venture to think that Raheem's going to have a heavy influence on what the defense is going to be anyway. So they haven't said yet who's going to be playing, who's going to be calling plays, whether it's going to be Jimmy or Raheem. It could be a combination. We don't know yet. But I think it's a good hire. Just looking at, like I said, looking at his history, knowing what and seeing what him and Raheem have did with the Rams defense, which is interesting because you look at, so when Raheem came into the Rams in 21, he was taking over for Wade Phillips, which they ran traditionally like a base of a 3-4. And we talked about it on the show before, but it's not like the old days where 4-3, 3-4 was, that was a big thing. Like nowadays, it's a lot of nickel. It's a lot of just hybrid type stuff because the league has changed. It's not a running league anymore. It's more a passing league. So anyway, he was running a lot of 3-4 when he got there with Wade. Like I said, he took over for Wade Phillips because he had the personnel to do so. But he was able to adapt to his personnel as well. So when guys like Bobby Wagner left and Leonard Floyd left, A'Shawn Robinson left, it left a kind of a gap there, definitely. And he, instead of going out and get a bunch of vets like this past year, they basically went with guys, about 6 or 7 guys that were 2 and 3 year players. So guys that really kind of flourished under him. I mean, like Ernest Jones was just really came out as like the leader of that defense in the middle there, taking over for Bobby Wagner. And just had a pretty, for what he was working with, pretty successful year. As Adam said on our show on Thursday, if you could name anybody else out of Jordan Fuller maybe in their defensive secondary, then congratulations, because not a whole lot of people can. But like I said, how that may translate to our defense here in Atlanta. Well, this last season in 23, Raheem went more because of the people they lost. He again kind of transitioned more to a base 4-3, even though again, a lot of 3-3-5, a lot of cover, a lot of quarters coverage, a lot of cover one, just too high type looks, even cover 6. They did a lot of that stuff with the Rams. So it's cool that he can just, he's not just set to a certain, I got to run this, like he's ran both. He's ran a 3-4, he's ran a 4-3. But again, even though he used a 4-3 base about 20% of the time this year and at the Rams, he's looking at a lot of 3-3-5, which is 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, which again, it's just a lot of what you see today in the league. And you can expect that probably to continue, especially with the 4-3 look. We got Grady, we got Onyemata, we got a couple of guys in the middle there that are probably fit a 4-3 better than a 3-4. And we might bring Bud Dupree back, who had a pretty successful season there on the edge. Who knows what else we can do there, and the linebackers, obviously, Caden Ellis fits the mold, so does Nate Lamon, and then of course we got Troy Anderson coming back off of injury. It's exciting to see what he can do with somebody like Troy, because I think he might be able to bring the best out of Troy between Raheem and Jimmy, because one thing that I think that Raheem changed when he got to LA was he started bringing more pressures, and he'll bring pressures kind of like Nielsen. He'll bring it from different spots, so it's not always coming from the same spots. He'll mix that up. It may be a defensive back, safety, linebacker, you don't know. So that's cool. I like that a lot about their defense and how they ran it there. So that's kind of it, man. I'm excited. So it wasn't a name again that was on my list of guys that I thought might be there, but it should have been probably, because again, just the fact that he was there with Raheem, and it makes total sense from that aspect. So, and again, it's going to be essentially Raheem's defense that he's going to run, and then we'll see who ends up calling the plays. And also, he worked with players at Washington like Taylor Rapp who plays for the Bills, and Zeke Turner as well, who plays for the Cardinals. So it should be interesting, guys. Should be interesting. But that's pretty much it. We got our coordinators, man. We retained Marquise Williams. If y'all didn't know that, he interviewed with the Patriots. Decided not to go with the Patriots, stayed with us, which is awesome. Because Marquise, I think, we said it last year, he's gonna be a name to watch going forward. I think very bright dude. I think he's got a very bright future in the league as a coach. But yeah, that's all I wanted to get through tonight, man. Just to, like I said, introduce y'all to Jimmy Lake if you weren't familiar, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed it. Again, thank y'all so much for watching the channel, watching the show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get notified whenever we go live or we drop new videos. And again, if you can catch us live on Thursday, we'll be there at 8 p.m. I think Big Low's still going to join us, Big Low Country Sports. Should be a hell of a good show. We'll be talking about these changes, and who knows what else comes up. Get in the chat, have some fun, man. We have a great group of folks that come by in the chat, and we try to get as many as we can on the show without going too long, but we do try to keep somewhat to a schedule on the show. But again, man, we appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great day, night, evening. We will catch y'all Thursday. Much love. Peace.